what was about this story that really grabbed you and wanted you to direct?
I just felt like it was an important story to get out there. Like we haven't had a mainstream movie about a kid with a disability played by a kid with that same disability, and that was something that I felt was really important and that I wanted to do. And it's such a beautiful book. It's beloved, it's taught in classrooms, and it's so many kids that I know's favorite book. And I just felt like it needed to be out there, and they'd been trying to get the movie made for 10 years, and so I felt lucky enough to get the job, and I was like, great, it's just something that I believed in. It was a cause that felt important to me.
Now, you mentioned the book. It's a beloved book, but as we know, book readers are very passionate. If you change something they don't like or you do something there,
So far, I've been really lucky that the people who are big fans of the book have said they love the movie just as much, so I'm like, great. The one thing I get sometimes from kids is, why didn't I include Butterscotch, the dog? And I just shuffle that off. I say, talk to Daniel Stiepelman, the guy who wrote the script, and blame him. So
We all love dogs. All right, so then what was the process of working with Phoebe? She's terrific. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
What was the process of working with her?
So she'd never acted before. So for me as a director, it was actually really freeing, because I was like, okay, great. I can just tell her this is the process. I can essentially say my process is this is how it's going to go. And she didn't have any sort of preconceived notions about how she should do it or how it should go, or when I worked with this other director and sometimes I think kids, particularly if they've done a lot of acting, they can sometimes, have one certain way that they like to do things, and but with Phoebe that wasn't the case. She was so daring and brave and just willing to try anything, and I couldn't admire her more. She was really vulnerable when she was afraid to be vulnerable, and I think that gift that she gave the audience and other children with disabilities who now get to look at her on the screen and go, oh, I could do that. That could be me. I think she gave everybody an incredible gift by doing that.
Now, I know every scene is precious to you, but is there one scene in particular you're proud of, something, maybe a small scene, an intimate moment, something you would want viewers to take from, oh, look at that. That was something that I really liked.
I mean, I love the whole movie, but I would say that, the scene when, in the beginning, her fish jumps out of the bowl and her father assumes that she knocked into it, and when she comes and she gets her Meditalker, her AAC device, and she tells him the truth that Ollie jumped out of the bowl. And I think for any parent to recognize that, oh, I misunderstood my child. I misunderstood what they were saying or what they needed. And I think that moment is really powerful. And my husband says he cries every single time he watches that part. So
It's my favorite scene. Well, thank you so much for joining us.